everyone, Claire Johnson here. I bet if you're an artist, you've definitely noticed the rise in popularity of alcohol markers lately. They're not just a staple in ad houses or ad agencies anymore. They've gone mainstream among all kinds of creatives, from hobbyists to pros. The blendability and vibrant colors make them super popular on social media and beyond. It's crazy how these markers have transformed the way people approach art. Quick, versatile, and perfect for so many styles. Whether you're just sketching, designing, just doodling, alcohol markers are definitely making their mark everywhere. The one trick I swear by in my toolbox is keeping a swatch book. Having all your colors in one place not only keeps you organized, but it makes choosing the perfect shades easier. It's a simple habit that truly just transforms what you plan to create. Plus, you won't accidentally buy the same color that you already have, which I have done on several occasions. To keep bleeding to a minimum, I use either smooth Bristol paper or marker blending cards. All are available on Amazon. Okay, so the next thing, it's pretty basic to know, but I'm just going to say it anyway. You have different nibs. So on this one, you have a fine point. And that's obvious what the job it does. It makes fine lines. And of course, you'll see when you go to buy the marker, make sure that you check and see which kind of nibs you want. Then, of course, there's the chisel. We always have to have the chisel. But what I use mostly is the brush. And this is how I achieve a watercolor-like look to my work. For best results, start practicing a feathering technique with your marker stroke. You're going to start out heavy at the beginning of the stroke, heavy pressure. Not too heavy, but heavy. And then flick up and out to smooth the end of the stroke. This is done with the brush pen nib. Keep practicing that stroke over and over and over until you feel like you've gotten it right, and then you can move on to your project. Now, before we get started on the markering, I got to point out something that's very important. You need to test your marker if you are using a black liner pen. So if it's Micron or whatever it is, do a swatch first to make sure that the marker doesn't smear it. It'll look terrible and you'll have ruined your entire drawing. So always test first. Now I've laid in my lightest shade. Now I'm going to go back in and start to lay down the middle shades and use that feathering technique. So it blends really well and it helps really emphasize the form, not just the line. And it gives it that painterly watercolor look. So I'm adding the next row of feathers for the blue jay to give it that distinctive look of feathers on the blue jay. Just little tiny strokes this time. Now I'm going to start his crest, and I'm using the tiniest little strokes, very delicate, and using just the very tip of the brush. Many people ask me when they see the finished art, they ask me, is that watercolor? I said, no, it's marker. And you can pick it up and carry it wherever you need to go and whatever you need to be. You got it right there at your fingertips. Now for the next shade up, I'm going to start again with his crest. And then I'm going to start moving all around to just kind of add that little extra to give it even more definition and form while it's still staying fun. Another thing, though, that I really want to stress, and this is not for everyone, but for this particular book that I'm doing, I had to do research. So you've got to look for a reference, whether it's on Pinterest or wherever it is that you get images off of Google, chat, whatever. Definitely have a reference nearby to keep you on track with what you're trying to do. This is not for everyone, and you may have other visions and your own characters, but be sure to keep them consistent. So if it's making a little turn sheet or whatever it is that you need to work out first, absolutely do that. If you need to test anything, again, try it out first on a scrap of paper, and then go ahead and move into your illustration. Definitely, as I said before, test your materials and see how they work together. And then you can see here that what's happening is getting brush strokes, but you're also seeing more and more form, and now we're getting deeper into the jewel tones, and that creates composition with color. Once I finish all the markering, I've got everything, the color where I want it to be, and everything looks good. Then I go back in with black accents, and I can use regular pen and ink. I can use any ink I want because I'm done with the coloring. So I can go and pop in those accent colors, and also on the blue jay's face and beak. That will make it distinct, and he'll look like a blue jay. Now that I've finished up this tutorial, and I hope you got a lot out of it, I'd like to read from 1 Corinthians 8:6. But for us there is one God, the Father, by whom all things were created, and for whom we live. And there is one Lord, Jesus Christ, through whom all things were created, and through whom we live.